What is up, you guys? Dennis Garcia here. How the fuck is everybody doing? I am not entirely sure how I'm doing. As you guys have read the title, this is 100% truth. It is not clickbait, and we're just gonna get into it. So as you guys know, I have been self-isolating myself for the last 6 weeks. The second that paid time off was offered at my job, I took it. This virus thing is something that is new to pretty much everybody in the world right now. I don't think any of us have experienced a pandemic with an outbreak of a virus. And it has been something scary, but we are learning new things about the virus every day. Aside from the government not really knowing how to act and a lot of people losing their jobs and becoming unemployed and struggling to keep their lives afloat, we also have to deal with the possibility of catching this virus. For me personally, at the beginning of this whole entire pandemic, I had a very scary fear of potentially catching the virus, which is why the minute that I was able to leave work and still be paid, I took the opportunity, not only for me, but for my dad and my mom, who are both older in their 50s, and my dad who has a lot of health issues. He has diabetes, he has kidney problems, liver problems, and he's had very close calls in the past in regards to death. And if he were to get this virus at the capacity that it is now, he probably would not survive it. I really wanted to still keep in contact with my parents and still be able to go see them and visit them, as I do live alone. And it is a very lonely feeling to be stuck in your house for 6 weeks. So I would often go to my parents' house every couple of days to just kind of have a sense of normalcy. And when it came time for all of this to end and for this self-isolation and paid time off ended, it was time for me to go back to work. And my time to go back to work came this week on Monday. So I had been back at work for about 3 days and things were going well. We were doing our best to keep ourselves clean of the virus. We had on masks. We were washing our hands every 30 minutes. We were cleaning and sanitizing surfaces every 5 minutes. Things, for the most part, felt a little bit normalized. All of our coworkers were back, and it just felt nice to be back at work and get our minds off of the virus, even though we were currently living through the virus. It was definitely an interesting 3 days. We had on our face mask and we were washing our hands every half hour, but that didn't really stop us from talking and catching up and working, because that is what we were there to do. We were there to do a job and to get back to life as usual. And Tuesday and Wednesday, we had mandatory work meetings where we just kind of talked about everything. We got really personal. A lot of us cried. A lot of us got really deep with how we felt over the course of the last 6 weeks. For those of us who were still at work during that time, and for those of us who decided to take time off during this whole pandemic. And we were all getting into the swing of things. We were all just learning how to come together again and work together again, since it had been about a month and a half since any of us had seen all of us. So with that being said, Wednesday the meeting ended. I came home. I had a shift the next day at 4:30, so I had to be up at around 3 o'clock in the morning for me to be able to shower and get ready and make it to work on time so that I was not late for my early shift. So I wake up 3:15 the next morning, and I'm getting ready to shower. The thing that I usually do whenever I get up from my sleep is I check my phone. I open up my phone and I see a text message and a missed call from my boss. And she texts me, hey, if you have a chance, please call me ASAP. And so I'm like, oh God, what did I do? Did I fuck up something? Am I in trouble? Never in a million years did I think that it was what was going to be said to me later on that morning. And as I'm pulling up to my job, she calls me back and she's like, hey, she's like half asleep, which is understandable. It was like 4:15 at this time. And she was like, hey, just called to let you know that someone in our work, one of our co-workers, or as we call them, partners, was tested positive for COVID-19. And so they're closing down the entire store for the day to clean it, sanitize it. And unfortunately, you were working with that person. And so now you have to go and isolate yourself for the next 2 weeks because you have been exposed to the virus. And it was a very scary, surreal, and crazy feeling to be on the phone in a lift, pulling up to your job, talking to your manager as she's telling you that you have been exposed to the virus, to the coronavirus that you have been self-isolating from and protecting yourself from. This whole like state of shock just went through my body, and it kind of took a little bit of time for me to be like, what? And so I immediately tell the guy who's like driving me to work, I was like, hey, can you take me back home, please? And he was like, yeah. So I'm like on the phone with her. She's like explaining to me what's gonna happen. She's like, you need to not come to work for the next 2 weeks. She's like, don't worry, we're gonna pay you. Everything's gonna be fine. We just need everybody who was exposed to that partner to self-isolate for 2 weeks while we figure out if you guys got it. If you didn't, come back to work, everything will be okay. And so at like 4:30 in the morning, I come back home, I open the door to my apartment, and I'm just like, wow, what the fuck just happened? And so yeah, I'm back home. I am back home for the next 2 weeks after just being at work for the last 3 days. And I guess I just gotta isolate and quarantine myself for the next 14 days and pray. Well, I don't pray. I don't believe in any God. I guess just hope that I didn't catch the virus. So far, it's been 2 days since that call, and I feel good. I don't feel like I have the virus, but even if I do have the virus and I'm not showing symptoms, I am doing what I can do to not pass it on to anybody else. So even if I do have it, I am not planning on leaving my house and possibly passing it on to somebody who may be more susceptible to it. I am definitely going to keep an eye out for this and see whether or not it gets worse. I hope it doesn't. I have heard a lot of really bad stuff about the virus, and anybody who does get it and actually shows symptoms, that it's hard to breathe, that you cough your lungs out, that you have a fever, and that all sucks because I have anxiety, and I'm a very anxious person naturally, so like it's already hard for me to breathe. I already suffer from shortness of breath when I have anxiety, so like having the virus would not be the best thing to happen to me during this whole pandemic. There's a lizard on my patio and I want to go grab it because it looks so fucking cute. Sorry, distraction, ADHD. I don't think I actually have I don't think I actually have ADHD. I just get distracted easily. But as you guys know, I'm gonna film at least one video a week every week, as that is what my schedule is. So I'll keep you guys updated next week and see how the symptoms, if any, if I've been exposed at all, which I'm hoping I have not, but I will keep you guys updated either way. Aside from that, I'm gonna go now because I am overthinking this and I will spiral and have a panic attack. And on top of that, I have anxiety. So it's like, don't really wanna play that game right now of like, do I wanna have both a panic and an anxiety attack, one or the other, or none? I prefer none. Alrighty guys, fuck. It feels weird to say I hope that you guys enjoyed this video because this is not the video that I was hoping to put out today. But it is my outro. I think I'm gonna skip it this time because I don't think it's appropriate to say. I hope that you guys enjoyed my video of me being exposed to the coronavirus. Like if you like the video. It's just, it feels weird. It feels weird. So I'm just gonna say that I'll see you guys next week and that I hope that you're all keeping yourself safe and still social distancing and still self-isolating. And if you are able to still quarantining and still being in quarantine. Aside from that, I hope that you guys are all having a good day and a good week and a good month and a good year and a good life. And I will see you guys hopefully next week if I don't die from corona. Okay, bye.